English well. That's why I put everything in my paper. So when you make a question, please tell me slowly and correctly. Mr. Benson, can you increase the size? No, I can't. I'm sorry. That's the size. Okay. As you know that there is a 9 stop points on the go board, but some go board has not. Some has even 25. The stop point we use now is to confirm the position of the 4x4. And another one is to control the handicap game. So generally, one stop point means one level difference. But problem is that the 1 point does not reflect one difference of strength in terms of Q or Dan. For example, 2Q and 4Q, they place two stones. So one stone, how many points? Nobody knows. It's not accurate. So this paper is that to compare the flower point, the star points of the Go board and other old Asian board game. There's lots of star points. So to compare that, and then what was the original purpose? The flower point, star point. It's my aim. The aim of this paper. First one is that the wooden board is 19 by 90 in Tang dynasties. That it means about 1500 years ago, but there is no star point. Second one is the stone board found in Korea, but when it was made, we do not know, but it has nothing. And this one has that. This one is a Korean one, and there is 19 by 19, and but it has only one marking in the center. Okay, next one is that that is not the actual Go board. It is, as you know, that there is the first that the sorry. In the first session, there was talking about the Dun Huang Chi Ching. That is first Go book, but actually Go diagram. It was first Wang You Qing Le Ji. And that in that diagram, there is a last center point, the flower point. You have to have the another one? Okay. It's gone. Okay. And then in that book there is a lot of the flower point, lots of forms of flower point. That is the square, and this looks like combination of the A and C. Looks like. This is the Tibetan Go board, and in the center there is a big flower, and altogether total 13 flowers altogether. This space a little different from a present Go board. That is that in Japan there is the Shosho Inn. They are keeping 2 old Go board. One is that this one, but it has the total 17 flowers. It is exactly flowers, not the star point. Another one is that is a normal point with a 9, altogether 9. Okay, next page, please. Sorry, we cannot see it clearly, but this is the Sunjang go board, which is typical go in Korea. And then they place altogether 17 stone in advance, and they start to play go. So there is no fuseki. That's why naturally they start from fighting. There is one, two, three, four. 4 point is altogether 6, and then there is a 3 point and 2 point, so altogether 17. And this is similar, but it's the number is different. This one have the total 25. This one has the only one. And then next, please, Peter. This one is the part of the porcelain board, but it has in here 1, 2, 3, 3 points in the 4 by 4 position. But it is the problem. There is no space to place the go stone on the first line. No space. That is the Wangdu go board. It was known that the first 17 go boards, it has the total 5 star points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the center. It's at the center flower point is exactly like this. And then it has also another problem that same as this one, the first line, we cannot place the gold stone on it. So it is difficult to say it's a 17 board. That is that it is found in China. It is also part. And then, but it has the star point in terms of X. And then what you can see is also a moment 13 by 10. But it has enough space on the first line to place gold stone in it. Then let's see the chess. Next page, please. This is the chess diagram of the Chinese chess. But they use, there is 10 points, but they use this one, something like that, this and this and this. Looks like a crossroad. And then both sides is 9 by 10. And then the form is just like a star. In the actual Chinese chessboard, and they put it, they place a black point like this, but in the diagram they use the different sign, different forms of point. This is the Japanese chess, shogi. In the diagram, they put 4 star points. There's 1 star point is like this, a round one. But interesting thing is that in Chinese chess, they do not use this point at all because they place the pieces in the cell and move around the space. They not use the line. This is the Korean chess. It's similar to Chinese, but there is no lever in here. And then they both sides 9 by 10 and use the X or the star point. Okay, next page, please. This is the Burmese chess. It's a little different from the Western chess. There is the 2 diagonal lines. And then they do not use this line in chess. Of course, in case of rook, they can use. But it is not the only line for the rook. They can any diagonal direction. And this is the Liu Bo, the famous, the oldest that race game in China. This first A and B, that it has not the start point at all, but from C, D, E, F, G, H, they have the start point in here. That is exactly round one. It is like a flower. It's like a ball, a flower, but it has a. This one is not the different. It's that the triangle, but it has it shows the direction to center. It looks like the balls or something like that. It is flower, but it has it. Now it's a force. It has a diagonal line like this. Okay, next pic. This is the bronze mirror for ladies. Then the pattern of the former page is at the transport on the back side of the mirror. The same design. It means that this game was popular among ladies in Han Dynasty. It means about 2,000 years ago. And there is it's an Indonesian game board. The picture is not clear in here, but this one is 11 by 11 with the two diagonal lines. And then in this side, it's the upper side and the front side. Front side, the design is the same as Tang Dynasty. It means Tang Dynasty about 1,500 years ago. So we can speculate that with this board, this game, this chess box is not actually 1,500 years ago, but this design and game gave us hint that it was game of the Tang Dynasty, 1,500 years ago. Okay, next bit. And then that Indonesian game board, there was two. Another one is that there is many stuff, many flowers inside, but on the edge there is some marks with similar to Sunjang Go board Korean. That is 4 and 3 in here, and it looks like it has a certain directivity. It means that in this, for example, triangle, it looks like it shows the direction from here to this. And next one is that in Fangqi, it is in China, in the Xinjiang area, is western part of the China. They played this game, but it looks like really old game. It's a 7 by 7 board. In center there is the two diagonal cross lines, but this either they do not use this one, so it means that it looks like it shows the direction from here to here, and from here to here. Okay. Next one is that is a Korean board game. It has at least 2,000 years history. There is two types. One is round type and square type. This is that modified for the children. Next, this game is that we throw dice and then go through, and it's a shortcut. To come here is the best way. Otherwise, we should go around. Next page, please. So now that I have studied the Go history more than 10 years, and then I found that the big problem, or that the big point should be is methodology. Many people, they study Go only for Go, and they collect only the material of Go. So that I think about it, Go belongs to board game. That's why that the history of Go shall be connected with the board game history. That's why I've collected the various kinds. And then I found that the similarity, there is always start point. Second one is that we should be, according to Murray, he wrote a book, The History of Board Game Other Than Chess. He clearly mentioned that when you analyzing the game, there should be his idea is what here. Then you can check later in that the AJ website or the main page. You can read it. The point is that he insists that many recorder, the writer or a commentator or reporter, they do not know well about the game. That's why even the famous painter Matisse, he even confused the chess and the draft, something like that. But it happened to in China, in modern times. A reporter, they say it's a chess, but I found it's not a chess. Simply lattice sport. Because of lattice sport, he understood chess. There is a lot of misunderstanding, mistake. That's why we should think about the writers the knowledge on the game. Okay, next page, please. A second one is that it is very important that when you decide when is the origin of the goal. Many people say the 4,500 years ago, it belonged to religion. But their translation is based on the Shuwen Jiezi. It's about 1900 years ago. One Chinese wrote a dictionary. He said, "E is Wei Qi." But he quoted from the other person's book, but he said Wei Qi is E. But unfortunately, both people do not understand the game at all. So what my understanding is that the E means, what you understand, someone's trying to explain okay, E is this kind of game, which is this kind of game, but what he can understand is on the board with the black and white stone, they played. So my understanding is that first, they call Wei Qi as an E. The E, in that case, it was a board game. But Xu, when he wrote the dictionary, he quoted as a B is A. Then the board game is which? So it has a logical problem. He said A is B, but again, when he quoted this B is A, then logically, if A is B, then should be the B always A? No. We should think about this kind of the problem. This is the Japanese board, but not clear. So my question is that, is it 10 by 10 or the 9 by 9 board? I'm asking you. When you see the Japanese board, chess board, as far as the line concerned, is 10 by 10. But in the space, cell concerned, 9 by 9. What would you say? See, Go players always say 10 by 10. Chinese players say always 9 by 9. So I made the same that on one board, I made the same simple joseki, but this is based on the line. This is based on the space. It's the same. Then why that we played on the line, on the close point. That one, as for that one, there is a writer, Dulles. He explained the difference of the culture between nomadic and the sedentary. He compared the chess and Weiqi. And he explained, he was right. It was generally understood that the northern part of China is they has a nomadic culture. Southern parts of China they have the agricultural. So, according to his explained that the nomadic culture is a matter of life. That's why they must go through the line. That is why that the Weiqi, they play the go on the line, and chess played on the space. So, because of the kind of cultural phenomenon that the all Chinese people, they adopted chess, but they changed where to play. Originally, it was on the cell space, but now they changed it to on the crossroad line. And then generally that the race game is that it's very simple. It's just to throw the dice, and according to that number of the dice, and then they move. And then the very simple one is just start 1 point and go line and coming back. Second was a little complicated. They made a certain checkpoint, and then they go to the inside. And then the more complicated one, now is very. Next page, please. Now I can, in case of Lipo, is that very simple one is that just go around. Second one is go in the center, and in some cases, next changes was that when you get this, for example, in case of the backgammon, we have the double 5 or double 6, then the one piece has certain power, and then elected, and it became general. And then other pieces stayed the soldiers, and then it became hunter game or chase game. Then later, they forget about the dice, and it became pure hunt game. So no more relation with the Liupo. Even they play the game on the Liupo board. Another one is they changed it. It was that for example, when they made a special certain circle in the center, when he enter there, then they get the point. For example, 10 point or 20 point, and one party gets the 60 point that he will win. It's quite different. But it is very fast in the race game. Next page. Okay, if I counted the 5 biggest game in the China, first one is Liupo, second one is Chupu, third one is that the Weiqi, fourth one is that the Xiangqi is chess, and last one is Shuanglu, that is the same as backgammon. So among 5, 3 games are a race game. Last is the Weiqi and chess, as you know well. Second published game was the Chupu. It was that it was not known well because there is no artifact left. It's very simple. I'll tell you a conclusion first. Because they played this game on the Go board. That's why there is no Chupu board at all. From now, after 100 years ago, I guarantee there will be no Chupu board. Now that I got this picture from the Baidu internet site in the Chinese, Baidu.com, but it is not 100% correct one. We should think about this. It showed it was Go board, and there is the 2 diagonal lines. This is correct. And then it's too early to say that I'm citing this one, and then the original Chupu board, according to reference, there is 2 sides. One is 11 by 11, another one is 19 by 19. So as I showed you before, the Indonesian the game with the 11 board, 11 and the just a diagonal line, that is the chupu game. And the Chinese chessboard and the Japanese chessboard, there are two differences only. One is, as I told you before, in the Chinese chess, they place pieces on the cross point. And the Japanese chess, they place the piece on in the cell. That is one difference. Another one is that the size. But I told you before, Chinese chess is 9 by 10, and Japanese at the even that in terms of line 10 by 10, but in terms of cell is a 9 by 9. As I showed before, there is no difference. Even with that on the 9 by 9 board, we can play Japanese chess, no problem. And then to compare that, there is one difference. Chinese and the Korean is a 9 by 10. Why? That is to compare the Western chess. There is no queen, and instead they have the eunuch. There is 2, and then there is a cannon. Western chess there is no cannon. Because of that, I think one line increased. That's why it became 9 by 10 in case Chinese chess. Japanese chess, of course, it was influenced by the Western chess through the southern route, and there was so many changes. For example, big chess, a small chess, or middle chess. In case of big chess, if you have a chance to visit the Tanioka the school, then you can see the biggest chess, Japanese chess, he's keeping now. Now, it was settled 9 by 9 in terms of cell. The Western is 8 by 8. It was influenced by the Chinese later. And then it was influenced not only the line, but also the shape of the piece. Generally, Western chess piece is statues, but it is very small with the Chinese letter instead of the sculpture. And the Korean chess is more closer to the old Chinese chess, because we don't have a lever, but Chinese chess has lever, and elephant cannot move. Next page, please. It's a Burmese chess. I showed you before that they don't use this line except look. But why they have? It means that they can play another race game in here. It's very convenient. When they play the chess, they do. For children, for other game purpose, they can simply start from here, throw dice and use this board. I think this cross line is for that. As shown in other games, same. In Fangqi, in China's Xinjiang area, now there's only for this. This game is very similar. What just before Peter said, the cigar. What is different? One is that the cigar was 5 by 5. This one is 7 by 7, and they placed all the black white stone to fill, and then they take out only one and they move. But the cigar was similar to custodian capture, but this one is a little different. If they make a shape of 1, 2, 3, 4, then they can take the enemy's piece out. And one thing very interesting, this game has a similar concept as Go. It's the only game. First, it fills completely, 49. Second, it has a concept of the shape, like a fuseki. It's a good shape or bad shape. Then the strong player, they know it because you made the bad shape, you lost a little game. We people enter the main game. There is two stages. One is feeling. Second stage is moving. But in initial stage was already decided because of the shape. So that the famous the board game study, Mr. Masukawa, he has studied the board game more than 50 years. He concluded that it has related with the origin of the Go because of this fact. Next page, please. This is typical the race game. It is more than 2,000 years, and then it's very simple. You start from here, and they use 4 dice, 4 sticks. 4 stick means it has only 5 numbers, and then if you reach here we can cut the corner, and then we can shortcut. But otherwise, we move around. And then normally we make a big start point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To distinguish with the small one, we make a big one. Now you can see the certain relationship with the fourth stone board. It has a 5 star point. This is the 5 star point, same as the former on the Go board. This is a Tibetan Go board. Even that this one, there is a 4 by 4, 3. In this case, a 3 by 3. There's 1, 2 bigger one, and there is a small one. But Go board has only 1, but it has 2. But it can be used as a race game still, using this 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But interesting thing is that based on this display of star point, Tibetan, they made a special Go rule, quite different. We can place the pieces just within the 1 interception distance. It's a rule. As for the detail, please ask Peter. He'll show you how to play that one. That's very interesting. But this is that. But what I want to say is that we can play the race game on this Go board. Next page, please. Wang-Tu Go board is that here is no picture, but there is a 19 by 19, but without enough space on the first line, and with the 5 flower points. Then it was known that the 17 board. Now I'll tell you why that is not the 17 board. Why we say that the 17 is that just a moment. What Murray said that every board game has original purpose. Now we should think about that one. And the professor in Japan, he claimed that the Wangdu board was a design board for the construction of the empire's tomb. It was. Then later we took that one and we put on the star point and made a race game board. That's my speculation. And then it became larger and it became the go board. So, but unfortunately, he claimed in 1976 but we didn't pay any attention and we didn't study further. So I speculate that in this way, there was it belonged to that one general. At that time, he was a general, and he got the power. So he saw that the one design board is good for, especially he has a many party in the outside. So he took that one, and he wanted to play the race game named the Chupu, but at that time the size was 11 by 11, and then to play that one, he marked the star point. So that is that exactly 11 from this to one side. It's 11 by 11. So they played inside of the design board, and then they marked only for the center. That is why they tested the certain direction. That's my speculation. And then even that there is a written evidence that there was two kinds of size chupu board, 11 by 11 and 19 by 19. Among 19 by 19, there is three kinds of game method. That is what? That 5 star points, 9 star points, 17 star points exactly match. Now, this is a little complicated. I have argued with Mr. Peter many times whether it is go board or not. Why you do not handle this one? But it is complicated a little. But at the moment it is 13 by 10. But it was actually the original size was speculated by 33 centimeter by 33 centimeter. It was the brick of on the road, the pavement. Then the guardian who keep the general's tomb, the empire's tomb, he took that one and he drew the line. And then but I think he failed. And then he threw it away. And then there is a mark that the 4 by 4. So now that whether it is go board or not, how many lines, that important before we go into that discussion, we should think about that what kind of piece they used. The fourth session that Dunhuang Chiqing, that is that in the Dunhuang the cave, that was about 1500 years ago. Then that letter Qi is under is a stone. There is two kinds of Qi in Chinese character. One is with the wood, another one is a stone. So stone, gold stone used later. And at that time, it was gold piece was wood, made of wood. And then there is 2,000 years. There is the sentence by the Marong, Wei Qi Fu, the Rhapsody of the Wei Qi, and then he described that the gold both sides was 3 chi. One chi is at 23.1 centimeter. So 3 chi means 69.1 centimeter. Big. For information that now the standard the size of the Yingchang Qi is at 43 centimeter. And then Next page, please. And then you can there is a as I told you, social in. You know that there is how many years ago? This is also about 1,500 years ago. 1400. Yeah, 14 years ago. There is a two go boat. One is, I remember, 49. The other one is 52 centimeters. It's bigger. But that used the stone. But in old days, wood pieces were bigger. It was insisted by the Ogawa Takuji in 1936. That's why he speculated that the size of the wood piece would be more than 30% bigger. Based on that, I calculated, and then the is this that the based on present size is 2.2 centimeter, and then by 133%, then it becomes 2.9 centimeter, and then I calculated like that and got the conclusion. Maximum 10 by 10. Oh no, the before that. And then if you use the present size of the stone board, then the maximum 14. And based on this figure, I assume that that board will contain maximum 100. And then I showed that size was already, what you can see, part is only 13 by 10. That is 130. And then it is not, the shell is not exact size. One is big, other very small. So what I expressed in here is that there will be traffic jam. On the other side, there is enough space, but there is traffic jam. It means we cannot put the size in here, inside. So we cannot place the stone. Then it cannot be a go board. But if you think about that, it's a simple race game. Maximum 12 pieces will be okay. One party, 6 pieces. That even though that there will be no traffic problem. And then there is in old days, it's about 1800 years ago, named Han Dan-shun. He wrote in his book I Jing that he first mentioned go board 17 board. Then the Wangdu board has theoretically it has a 17 board, but no space at all. Okay. Then but this one is that but unfortunately he wrote another sentence. That is that the name is similar to Hasami Shogi exactly. And then according to that arrangement, it has 17 like this. So that next page, please. The conclusion is that there is two types of go board. One is that with the start point. One is without start point. Okay, and then the forms of all the start point, include the old Chinese board game and Weiqi board. That marks all has directivity. Even the Chinese chess and the Japanese chess. So my speculation is that this kind of chess is this kind of one is for that the directivity. So I concluded that go board without flower point is only for go game. A go board with start point, but without the enough space on the first line is only for the go board, a race game. And then this start point is for that the entrance or the checkpoint, that kind of purpose. It was my conclusion up to now. Thank you.